Hello Tech World. So I recently bought the Victrix PRO BFG Controller to test it out and let you guys know if this is something you should consider buying. I want to let you know now that this controller was bought with my own money, so everything you hear in this video is my sole opinion. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. And if you're subscribed to the channel, thanks for coming back. We have a lot to discuss when it comes to this controller, so let's get into it. Now, the Victrix PRO BFG is coming in at $180, and this is what you get straight out of the box. Hopefully it doesn't take you as long to take it out as it took me forever. When you unzip the case, you notice the Pro controller and some of its accessories. At the top you will find a braided Type A to C cable, which is quite long. Once you take out the Pro BFG controller out of the case, you'll automatically notice how light this controller feels. I picked up my Dualsense controller as well and noticed the weight difference right away. For the accessories, you have the fight pad, 2 additional thumbsticks, 2 additional D-pads, 2 joystick gates, a 2.4 dongle, and a screwdriver for removing button pieces. So in my opinion, this controller feels very similar to an Xbox controller when it comes to its dimensions. What makes this controller so amazing is that you have the best of both worlds. If you prefer your analogs to be aligned more to the Xbox controller, then that's not an issue. But if you're a PlayStation controller user and you like the layout of that, well, you can definitely readjust the controller to better fit the PlayStation controller. It's truly amazing. When it comes to the grip on the controller, it definitely feels good in the hand, and if you're a sweaty player, don't worry about your hands as you'll have no issues whatsoever. When it comes to the aesthetic of this controller, it's mostly black with a few pieces that are purple, such as the logo. This controller does come with a start and share button, but it does not include haptic feedback, which is something that if you're interested in, well, sorry, you're out of luck. The controller does come with its usual right and left bumpers, but on the back you will notice that it comes with non-removable back paddles. As someone who prefers 2 back paddles on the back, I thought this would be an issue for me, but as I've spent time with this controller, I can honestly say it does not bother me in the slightest. Also, in the back you'll find a program button and 2 buttons to control the actuation of your bumpers. When it comes to the rear paddles, they did take a little getting used to, as mentioned before, as I've only been using 2 back paddles on any of my Pro controllers, but it didn't take long to adjust. They feel very sturdy and have a good feel to them when playing competitive FPS games. You always know when they're being used as they make sort of a clicking noise after every input. As for the triggers, you can either have them set perfect for story games or racing games, or you can program them for fast competitive games such as Call of Duty or Overwatch 2. Being able to change the actuation of the triggers on the fly is a great feeling indeed. Now, seeing as I play most of my games on keyboard and mouse, I do have to admit I am still trash on Call of Duty when it comes to playing this on a controller. As for the thumbsticks, I have to be quite honest, I've only used the ones that come originally on the controller as I'm not a fan of the short domed or the long stick, but if you're one who prefers to use these type of thumbsticks, you shouldn't worry as swapping those thumbsticks is quite easy. As mentioned before, this controller does come with joystick gates, but again, that is not something that I've used or plan on using or swapping out in the near future. When it comes to battery life, it's stated that you should be getting 20 hours of battery life. As of right now, I haven't had a reason to charge it as much, seeing as I play most of my games via keyboard and mouse, but if I'm in a good mood to get destroyed in Call of Duty, then I'll definitely take these bad boys out for a spin. It's weird, but for some odd reason, I've always preferred to play games wired, especially if it's at my gaming setup, seeing as the desk is just so close to me. If you haven't noticed already, this controller does have a 3.5mm headphone jack in which you can connect the headset to the controller, which isn't really that big of a wow factor for me as I play everything with my Logitech Pro headset, which I use wirelessly. When it comes to software, yes, this controller comes with software in which you will need to download to your computer so that you can update your controller with all of the latest features. This controller, in my opinion, is in a league of its own. It's made for casual gamers who enjoy story games, people who play FPS games, as well as players who prefer fighting games. This controller does it all. But I have to say it's definitely not perfect. I find myself missing the little things when it comes to the Dualsense controller. I find myself missing the speakers, the haptic feedback, the rumbles. To you, they may not be that important, but to me, they are everything. If you're looking for a Pro controller, I definitely think you should consider this controller as it's priced lower than most Pro controllers. What makes this controller great is your ability to use this controller on the PlayStation 4, 5, or PC, whether wireless or plugged into your gaming device. I've tested plenty of Pro controllers in the past, whether from Scuf, Battle Beaver, or even PowerA, so trust me when I say I've had my fair share of experience with Pro controllers. I can honestly say this seems to be my favorite straight out of the box. Let me know down in the comments which Pro controllers are your favorite and whether or not you're considering purchasing this controller. When it comes to finding this controller, you can find it on Best Buy's website or Amazon, but if you're impatient like me, you can always find them at your local GameStop. As always, it's been a pleasure, Tech World. If you've enjoyed the content, please feel free to smash a like, and if it's left you with wanting more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button as we cover gaming, tech, and more. As always, I'll catch you guys on the next video.